I should probably put these on so you actually see what I'm talking about, right? Obsessed. I love these. I just need like a headscarf right here and they're fantastic. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I swear it is April. But yes, I'm wearing a cashmere sweater that is a turtleneck in the middle of April because it is so cold outside still. So today's been a little bit of a busy day. It is Saturday, middle of April, as I mentioned. And today we are going to an estate sale, but before that I've been prepping for a market that I have tomorrow. But of course, there's an incredible estate sale that's happening a few miles away from us. So I am actually rallying Sombron, and Max is coming with me because this one is definitely an estate sale that is a gardener, just like heaven. So I wanted to take a few seconds and show you kind of like behind the scenes on how I prep for markets. I thought it'd be really fun since I haven't done this portion of my business. I haven't shared this with you guys before yet. So yeah, here we go. One of my absolute favorite things that I sell at my vendor booth at markets are these. They are called Hooties. And as you can see, I have quite the selection of hoodies to make for tomorrow's market. Picking out and pairing the fabrics are probably my absolute favorite part of making these. As you can see, the wings of this one is the body of this one, so they're little partners. When it comes to the fabric colors, I love picking out something that has like a vintage inspiration, of course. So what I do is my first process is to go and pick the fabrics, which I love doing. These are trivets or potholders. We use ours as potholders and they are awesome. I love them. They're all machine washable, dryable, and they're good for about 400 degrees out of the oven due to a layer called Insulbrite, and that's a specialty heat resistant fabric. I make them all myself. And we are back. That was seriously one of the busier estate sales that I have been to in a really long time, and let me tell you why. We're so fortunate that we lived really close to the estate sale. It was maybe a 15-16 minute drive from our house, which was really nice. We realized really fast that it was going to be a challenge to even get to the estate sale. To get there, the neighborhood started off with a regular ultra-wide street to enter, and then as we got closer and closer to the house that was hosting the estate sale, the roads just got so small and narrow and were maybe 1.5 lanes wide at all. Now, fortunately, I took my car. I have a very small car. It's a little hatchback, and it was fine for me to navigate, but it was a really big challenge to park with a lot of these huge trucks that everyone was bringing, SUVs. There's very little room to navigate, and we finally found a parking space that I thought would be okay until it definitely wasn't. So we were standing in line for probably a good 30 minutes outside, of course, after we signed in on the sign-in sheet, and it was 37 degrees out. Like, it was cold. So we're standing in line and we're maybe like 5-6 people from being able to be let into the estate sale when all of a sudden all of these squad cars show up, lights flashing, a couple like sirens going, and mind you, this is a sleepy little neighborhood. All of a sudden there were police people coming out of their cars and telling us literally, you have to move your cars if it's parked on the grass, period. Like, your tires cannot be on the grass. You couldn't be blocking any driveways, obviously, which I don't think anybody was. But what was interesting is they said it was their first and final warning. Now, mind you, this estate sale had been open for probably about 40 minutes at this point, and there was a lot of people whose cars were affected by the police saying, hey, you know, you gotta move. And of course, there's a lot of people in line, really worried, so we all dispersed, moving our cars. Mine was probably okay, but it was on the grass literally maybe 2-3 inches, and the police were like, no, you can't have your car on the grass. So I had to move it. Now, fortunately, I was able to find a really wide street, maybe a block over. So, of course, I parked there, far away, out of the way of anybody. And I figured if we find anything really good, worst case scenario, I'll just drive up and we load up the car in front of the estate sale, and then we drive off. So it was about another 20 minutes before we were finally able to enter this house. This estate sale was definitely a woman who lived there. And she had decorated the house like to the nines, and all of this like black and orange. There was a lot of gold, and nothing really seemed vintage in the house. It was definitely newer, which is totally fine. But what I was there for was for what was in the backyard. You can totally tell that the person who lived there was an insane gardener. While we were waiting in line, I noticed that a lot of the large planters contained trees and bushes and shrubs that were all for sale, part of the estate sale. From where we were standing in line at the front of the house, you can actually see a little bit over the side fence and get a glimpse of the backyard. It was full, jammed, packed of planters, raised planters, all kinds of garden tools, furniture. There's patio stuff everywhere. There was so much decoration that you would put in your garden. Since I didn't really do anything with our backyard last year, I really wanted to make up for it this year and just kind of have it feel more complete and established, since we do a lot of entertaining and we happen to have a large family gathering planned at the end of June. I figured this estate sale would be a really great opportunity to try and get some of those things to make our backyard feel more complete. It was so full of people throughout the house. It was hard to navigate. We were trying to find our way to the backyard. I did manage to find a few really cool pieces, but like I was saying, this house was stuffed, just furniture everywhere, all kinds of knickknacks, tons of decor, and you really felt like you were immersed in something that wasn't quite a house. And finally, we made our way to the backyard, and like I said, it was, I mean, dare I say, like, I guess you can say if you've ever been to like a graveyard, that was like really full. It's a terrible comparison, by the way, and I'm so sorry. It was the only experience that I had with something like this. If you've ever been in a graveyard where there's so many statues on top of gravestones and headstones, and you have to really like navigate your way through single file, we couldn't walk next to each other side by side. There was that much stuff in this person's backyard. This woman was absolutely insane. So what did I find in the backyard? I found this really great metal topiary for climbing bushes. I did end up buying a red climbing rose bush for it. It just needed a little bit of spray paint just to freshen up, along with a planter stand. I also found a half moon shovel because I'm all about those clean lines and edges of our grass this year. I also found these really beautiful terracotta pots. These pots aren't actually real terracotta. They're like some sort of plastic. It's not full plastic though. It's kind of like a paper mache meets plastic, if you know what I mean. So they're really beautifully textured. They do have some weight to them, so I know that they're not actually plastic, but they're not full terracotta. But I love the way that the edges are frilled and ruffled, and I think they're going to make a really nice part of our backyard. Just be a little bit more whimsical than it currently is. And of course, I found a couple things for me, including these really fun earmuffs. I don't think I've had a pair of earmuffs for like years, but they're so silly. I love how they're so warm. I freeze in the winter time, and I'm really tired of wearing hats all the time because it really messes up your hair. I know, first world problems, but they match a coat that I got for myself almost perfectly. So I think I'm definitely going to be able to wear these with my coat when it gets a lot colder out, obviously. Another thing I picked up, and of course, no surprise, a beautiful glass vase. Now this is Waterford, but it's actually Marquee by Waterford. If you're unfamiliar, Marquee is a little bit lesser of intense quality pieces, but it is Waterford crystal. It's manufactured over there as well in Ireland. Actually, this particular one was made in Czech Republic. I guess I gotta read the sticker, but I love how just beautiful all of the cut glass is, and I love how like heavy it is. You know it's a good quality glass when how the clarity is. You don't have a lot of the fusion lines. There's no chips or anything in it. And it's just a really beautiful heavy piece. So this actually might live in my dressing room because I love it so much. And that's pretty much it. Now, like I said, it was really cold. It was a long wait. I really had a lot of time to make a game plan on what I wanted and where those items were. We found a couple pieces that we thought would be really cool, but honestly, we just don't have the space in the house, and that's probably a good thing. I had so many questions from you guys on my stories about how to go to an estate sale, like where to find them, what to do when you get there, and just kind of how they work. So I've actually started to put together a whole series on how to navigate estate sales before you go, what to do and how to act like when you're there if you've never been to one. As a lot of you actually reached out to me and said, hey, I've never been to one, like how do you go to them? So I am putting together what I feel is the ultimate guide to an estate sale. So be on the lookout for that series coming up soon. And that is all that I got from the estate sale. And to round out my recent hauls lately, I went into my local Savers and I was really surprised on what was there. I normally don't find a lot of vintage things there anymore. It's very picked over. There's so much turnover with all of their merchandise. I don't know if you've ever been in a thrift store, but usually there's some sort of advertising that comes on that says, oh, come back tomorrow and there'll be a whole new store. Well, literally this Savers that's completely true. And so I kind of don't mind going there when they don't open or when they're opening up right away. I don't mind going a little bit later in the day, and I'm glad I stopped by because, of course, I found a couple things. So I found this serving plate that I thought was going to be perfect for our the new like summer dishes that I found at Village Discount Outlet like a couple months ago. It's a beautiful serving platter. I love the colors. It is signed on the back, but I'm having trouble like reading what it says. It almost like it says Cage Frogzia. Oh, I'm gonna say it. It's Italian, and I'm really awful. I'm not familiar with this this artist, so maybe that's like a Google image search kind of thing. But it looks really well. It goes really well with our plate set that I picked up a while ago. Another thing that I recently picked up were a pair of earrings, neutral earrings, or what I think is neutral. They're just these really cool gold, kind of super lightweight. I think they're from the 90s. I don't think they're older. There's no name or anything on the label. There's no logo or anything, but they're so fun. Oh my gosh, I love these, and I've already worn them a couple times. And the other thing I found was this incredible red and white floral sundress. I thought would be really pretty for the summertime. Red is one of my favorite colors. And I love anything like jewel tone, but it's very hard for me to find vintage pieces that fit me. I'm tall, I'm 5'10", I'm curvy, and a lot of vintage pieces just don't fit me. So, or if they do, I have to like take them in or just like do a lot of tweaks and stuff, and this dress is so pretty. I absolutely love the length. I love the detail of the buttons, and I think it's gonna be really cute. I gotta find some good shoes to go with it, of course. First world problems, I know, but yeah, it's like one of those things that I love adding to this evolution of style that I'm having. That is it, guys, for everything. I think I spent realistically under $100 for sure. Yeah, under $100, which I think is pretty good for a what I would consider a mega haul because I don't find this stuff often. And then of course, you know, we've been making plans for our backyard, so it was a really great opportunity to find those pieces and things for our backyard. And then something for me because I'm usually out thrifting and sourcing for my shop, The Curious Aesthetic, so I don't get to often find things that I get to keep. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys, for staying in and watching everything with me. Remember to like and subscribe if you want to hang out more often. I'm getting better at putting out videos. If they come out, when they come out, because they're going to come out, it's going to be Wednesday. All right, guys, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.